Well, hey everyone, welcome to Coaching in a Car. Usually getting coffee or having my coffee or going to the chiropractor, which I've already been to as well. This happens. So this is coaching in a car coming from chiropractor, get coffee. But the concept still applies. Oh yes, coffee is good. Coffee is good. All right. So let's get started. One of the things I wanted to talk to you about, well, actually, what I'm going to do is I'll divide this into a series of at least 4 videos, possibly more, because there's so much to get into with this that I didn't want to pigeonhole myself. Nonetheless, here's what we're going to talk about today. The basic concept is that I want people to live within a pursuit of passion, of purpose. In a book that I've been working on, it's not quite out yet when I'm recording this, but hopefully I'll be able to pin a link at the top comment or something like that to this when it does come out. One of the things that came out in that was that I want to encourage people to have what I'm calling a portfolio of preparedness. Diverse work, diverse investments, that sort of thing is, I believe, really key. And in fact, was one of the things that actually kept us afloat during a rather rough 2021, where if I had all of my eggs in one basket, so to say, then that would have been really rough, but we didn't, thankfully. And yeah, it was rough, but it could have been a lot worse. And that's because we had that beginnings of a portfolio of preparedness. It's making me want to do more with that, not less. I want to lay out for you a couple of concepts. The first is that we should always be living in our passions. If there's something I've learned over the years, it's not just about being happy with what you're doing. A lot of people just go to work. They don't have a vocation. They just have work. The work implies labor and stuff we wouldn't be doing unless we had to. I really don't want that to be your reality. I really want you to have a vocation, something you are passionate and gifted towards. And I believe that we're created with a number of talents, and then over the years, we're given more and more. And one of the things that really got to me was the parable of talents. This is a teaching from Jesus 2000 plus years ago, but I found some application to this in our modern world that I think is really fascinating. And so that's something that I'll probably be talking about in another video in more detail. But the long and short of it is that I believe that we are given talents that we are to invest within. Some people are given more talents because over time they developed and invested in more of their talents. And so more is given to them. That's the part of that verse that comes out a lot of times. But without getting too much into that, we'll get into that in video 3. But in this first video, I want to lay out the quadrants and talk about the first quadrant and why it's the least attractive to most of us. So there are 4 quadrants in these pursuits. And when I say pursuits, it's because I want to be aggressively appropriate about the way we deal with our time, our effort, and our mindset. To that regards, the things we do with our time, whether we like to admit it or not, are pursuits where time is always moving forward, right? So we're always pursuing time. Time is not something you can get back. Can't reclaim time. So you're always pursuing time. So if you spend time doing something, then you're pursuing that. Right now, I'm pursuing something by recording this video. You're pursuing something by listening to it and watching it. So that is what pursuit is. And so the first pursuit area, if you can picture 4 quadrants, in the bottom right-hand quadrant, what we're going to talk about today, is the tasks that don't really give us any kind of fulfillment. We're not contributing anything unique towards. We're not growing in doing them. And in fact, the reality is they're not tasks that we're doing as well because there are others that could be doing it better anyway. I have taken to calling these like tasks, just stuff to do. In keeping with Parable of Talents, I've chosen to call this slave labor because I want you to feel that if you are spending your time in these areas, you're not working for yourself. You are not working towards a better goal. You are just working for someone else or doing things that somebody else should be doing that you're less effective with during the time. And there's some analogies that I use. Say, for example, for most people, them working on their car, if I was to say, okay, I need to replace the camshaft in this highly complicated German vehicle that I'm driving right now, I might be able to power through it. But ultimately, there wouldn't be a lot of value in me doing that. And the reason why is multifold. One, I'm not good at it. I would be much more likely to screw something up. There's nothing really to be gained by me doing it necessarily. If I want to learn how to do that for a living, for a vocation, that might be something that I'd be doing. But how often am I going to be doing something like that? For some people, that is different. That there is a benefit to doing that. I would put myself into that category for a lot of things, mechanical, that I'm not necessarily doing them to grow anything, but I do get some satisfaction about that. We'll talk about that in the next video. But generally speaking, there's other things like this that are things that we just don't really get any value of. They're going to take us a lot more time to do. So it's going to be a longer pursuit than would normally be for other people. And so there's really no benefit to doing that. So that's why I call it really slave labor. There's nothing really that's benefiting anyone necessarily as far as truthfully. It's one of the things about slavery that was particularly ugly, especially forced slavery. There's a lot of different types of slavery, by the way. There's lots of throughout history, but the ones most ugly that most people associate slavery with is the forced stealing of people and trafficking in people. It's ugly, it's awful, and it's something that has changed these days as far as like what it used to be just service. Now it's very ugly things like human trafficking and sexual slavery and stuff that I'm getting sick to my stomach about just thinking about, really wanting to go out and just makes me want to punch people. So it does. But the reality of the slave labor that I'm talking about is we've, in a lot of ways, convinced ourselves that we just need to do stuff. If I was to be using this car right now, delivering food, for me, that wouldn't be a fulfilling activity. That wouldn't be something that I feel like I'd be growing at all as a person. Now, me as a person doing something like that, I would find ways to make it more efficient and I'd find ways to make it fun. That's just the way I operate. But by and large, it's not something where I'm talented or uniquely called or qualified or have the desire to do that. Now, other people do. And this is the other thing about these quadrants that I want you to recognize is that this is just your definition of where you fit in these things. So for someone else, they might get a lot of satisfaction out of delivering food or taking people around in their cars with Uber or whatever brand. They might find a lot of satisfaction in that. I've driven with plenty of those people that really genuinely enjoy. They're more extroverted. They enjoy being around people and having varied conversations. And I can put myself into that category, but they get fulfillment out of that. And it's something that they feel they can invest into so that they can work towards getting a higher rating and things like that. And so there are people out there that are truly passionate about it. But if you were to say, DJ, that's all you can do, then obviously I would do it, but I wouldn't like it. I wouldn't enjoy it. I wouldn't get anything out of it. And I wouldn't grow as a person because of it. That's what slave labor is when you're doing something that doesn't fit any of those categories. And unfortunately, a lot of people watching this video right now are in that space of not doing fulfilling work. They're not doing the kind of work that would be classified as anything else other than slave labor. And that's really a shame. And I want you to hear me on this. That is maybe appropriate for a time, but I want you to start working towards getting out of that. I want you to start working towards freeing up your mindset that there are other things you can be doing. There's always margin. And the reason I'm putting the quadrants together is so that you can start categorizing your time spent in all these things. In the 5th video, we'll go through it and actually start to work at this. And so the other videos, I'll be describing the other pursuits and we'll work up towards that. So next week, we're going to talk about things that we can do with a relative amount of skill, but really aren't really anything unique about ourselves this week. But that's a teaser for next time. But I want to talk about that next week. So if you're finding yourself in a position of not knowing where you're going in life as far as, well, life in general, I suppose, but also in terms of your vocation, if you're feeling stuck, I want you to know that I'm making time available. I have a system developed to where I can make myself available to talk to you, and I want to talk to you. The more time I spend talking with people and helping people, not only does that make me better at helping people, but it also gives me a lot that I know that people are struggling with, and I can start helping not only you, but other people as well. And thirdly, a lot of times I'm finding it leads to people wanting to pursue a coaching relationship with me. And so we can kind of interpret that and then see how that's going. So if you want to avail yourself of that opportunity, I have a system online that will help you find a block of time that I have set up. And like I said, there's not a lot of them, but there's enough to where you're probably going to be able to find something. In fact, if I have weeks where I don't have a lot going on, I'll a lot of times just open that up a little bit and let more of those 30-minute blocks through. So to find one of those 30-minute blocks to talk to me, all you need to do is go to djeshelman.com, or just if you can't spell Eshelman, I'll have it below, but you can leave it better.com. That'll take you right to the homepage, and then just you'll find a link on there that'll say either connect with or work with me. Click on that, and it'll take you to a page where you can schedule a time to have a Zoom call with me, and we'll talk more about what's going on in your life and see how maybe I can help you. And we'll go from there. Like I said, there's no obligation, no cost to you. Come prepared to be coached if you do take me up on this offer. But at the same time, I do want to make that available as a service, kind of giving back. So feel free to take me up on that. I am serious that you don't have to just say, oh, no, it's not for me. Yeah, seriously, take me up on that. And I will talk to you in another coaching in a car video. Have a great one.